Hey guys, this is Scarface95 here. I'm reviewing another cheap fitness tracker. This is another kind of budget version, I would say, of the Fitbit Alta, which is a very similar size. And if you don't really look too closely at this fitness tracker, you might even think that I am reviewing the Fitbit Alta. Even at around $25 currently on Amazon, which is less than a sixth of the price of the Fitbit Alta, this performs pretty much what you would expect from a fitness tracker. It tracks your steps, calories burned, your sleep, and there's also even a built-in heart rate monitor, but it really doesn't work well, so I definitely wouldn't make any health decisions based on the beats per minute that you see on this fitness tracker. So the Shinmax fitness tracker has quite a few screens that you can rotate through by pressing on this capacitive button right at the bottom, and it is a monochromatic, basically LCD screen that you can just see some information at a glance. So the first screen that you see when you first wake it up is the battery indicator right at the top. There's the dates and day of the week, and then the time. The next screen is the manual heart rate monitor. I would never bother using that, so let's move on to the next screen, which is actually a transfer screen where if you were to hold down the capacitive button for 3 seconds, it will transfer into what is called the sport mode, which you basically just activate a stopwatch on the actual device and it'll start tracking a more intense activity. Let's say you wanted to do a run, so it'll start tracking exactly how many steps that you took in that run and the distance traveled, calories burned specifically for the activity. So it's kind of like an activity starter if you change it into the sport mode. And then to change it back to the normal mode, you just need to find this screen right here. Again, hold your finger over that capacitive button for 3 seconds until it reverts back to the original normal displays. So continuing on with the normal displays, afterwards you would find your steps count, and then you also your distance travel. You can change the unit in the app, which I'll talk about in just a minute. And then you have calories burned, and then you also have the number of minutes in which you have actually had a significant amount of activity. The companion app that you download for this fitness tracker is where you can really customize all the other features. For instance, you can choose what types of messages that can show up on your wrist, so like your social media and also your text messages. And the nice thing about the way they show up on your wrist is actually they have a little icon right before the message when it scrolls, so you know exactly where it's coming from, whether it's from your text message or you actually get it through, say, Facebook Messenger. The only problem I have with the message displaying is that how short the screen time is. You basically get 1 or 2 seconds to wait for the message to start scrolling, and it doesn't even scroll through the entire message. So this is really more of just a on-wrist notification. You get a little vibration just for you to know that you got the message, so you can check the whole message on your phone later. In terms of other notifications you can set an alarm. Again, this would be in a vibration based on the time that you set inside the app. There's also a sedentary reminder if you wanted to see if you wanted to just remind yourself to get up every now and then if you do a lot of sitting around most of the day. There's even the feature to take a selfie or a picture using the fitness tracker as a remote. But I don't think this is really useful because it's kind of glitchy in the app, and besides, if you wanted to take a photo real quickly, you would probably just go to the default camera app, which it has more built-in features anyways. But you can find some more useful customized settings in the tabs to the right. Under the devices, you can choose to rather have the display either horizontal or vertical. You can change the units that it is tracking in. You can choose whether to raise to wake or not. I usually have it off just because it doesn't work very well. And then you can also choose to have it vibrate whenever you're a little bit too far from your phone. So if you kind of start dropping Bluetooth connection with your phone, it'll give you a gentle reminder on the tracker. Besides feature customization, the app can be used to, of course, track your steps, your sleep, calories burned, that sort of thing. And the app has several ways of displaying your data. So the first tab, you can kind of see at-a-glance information for that day. And then if you wanted to see more trending information, you go to the next tab. You can see this over the course of a week, a month, a year, however way you want to see this data. I would say the actual activity tracking like steps and calories burned is reasonably accurate. But the problem with sleep tracking, and this is a prevalent issue across many different, even name-branded fitness trackers, is that you can't manually set when you actually go to bed. So it just kind of assumes that during the usual night hours, and if you have no movement, that you are sleeping. So if you either do night shift or you like to take naps during the day, the fitness tracker will not be able to log those sleep hours. My two main downsides with this app is just how slow it takes to synchronize with the fitness tracker. It takes a good solid minute to transfer all the data over, even if you only had 1 day worth of data. And a less important feature that is missing is any sort of leaderboard. So if you wanted to compete with your friends or just brag about how many steps you took that day, there's not really a cohesive way of doing that. There are these share to social media buttons, but that's pretty much it. So for the most part, the app is perfectly adequate. I think they could use a little bit more work in organization and cohesion, but the good thing is that you can still find most of the information that you need right on the actual fitness tracker. The display isn't particularly bright, especially under direct sunlight. It's very hard to see, but the good thing about the display is how well it conserves the battery. Most fitness trackers like Fitbits require you to charge it up to 2 to 3 times a week. But with this fitness tracker and keeping the heart rate monitor off and using it only manually, I was able to get through more than a week at a time before I actually had to charge. Normally, I would charge it every maybe 10 days or so, and that is pretty darn amazing. And what's even better is how easy it is to charge it up. All you have to do is remove one end of the strap to reveal the USB charging portion, and you just need to plug that into any USB port, say your computer, to charge it up. And speaking of the band, I really love how customizable it is. It has plenty of holes for you to find one that can fit your wrist. Even with my narrow wrist, I was able to use the second to last hole, and that means I don't even need to take out my reamer to produce a new hole. And the buckle on this tracker does a great job of keeping it in place on my wrist so it doesn't move around when I'm doing high intensive activities like running. So this fitness tracker is by no means perfect, but also keep in mind this is only around $30, whereas a Fitbit is 5 times more expensive than that. But it does all the basic stuff that you would want from a fitness tracker, like tracking your steps, your calories burned, your distance traveled, alerting you of when you get those messages. It is even somewhat water resistant, so I've used it when washing dishes, washing my hands in the shower sometimes too, and have not had any issues. So on the screen is a summary of all the pros and cons. I would say most of the cons has to do with software related, so that's definitely an easy fix with just a software update in the future. So feel free to weigh out these factors. Again, I'll put the link in the description to this product if you guys are interested. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like. It'd be greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe to my channel, Skyforce95, if you haven't already, to get more content like this. Or if you're watching this on Amazon, head over to my channel URL right here, or just search it up on YouTube, Skyforce95. There you'll see a bunch of my product reviews and unboxings. Feel free to browse, or if you want to search for something specific, just hit that search field. That'll do it for this video. This is Skyforce95. Thanks for watching.